All right, so it is now 6:44. I'm going to call the second half of the select board meeting on July 29th to order. If you can all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Sorry, we were running late at our first part of our meeting. So we have first IPPO, which we extended to August 19th at 5:31 p.m. So that is done. At 7, we have the Dufresne dog bite incident. So Chris, before we go there, do you want to go through Dufresne rentals and correspondence?
All right. Dufresne rentals, we have on August 11th, 2024, arriving 1 p.m., departing 6 p.m. No liquor, number of people 12 to 18. It's a party, and the area being requested is the parking lot area, open field, wooded areas on either side of the open field, and the pavilion. Next one is August 14th, 2024, rain date August 28th, 2024, arriving 5 p.m., departing 9 p.m., no liquor, number of people 100 plus. It's a summer concert, and it is for the gazebo and the open lawn area.
Is that the Council on Aging?
No.
Oh.
No, it's another band. I usually don't give the name, but I will on this one. It's Oakland Stroke Soul Band.
Okay.
Let's see. Next one is August 18th, 2024, arriving 10 a.m., departing 3 p.m. Liquor authorized, none. Number of people, 35. It is a club picnic. They want the parking lot area, an open field, the wooded areas on either side of the open field, and the pavilion. Next one is for August 30th, 2024, arriving 1 p.m., departing 3 p.m. Liquor authorized, no. Maximum number of people, 47. It's a lunch/picnic, and it is for the Taylor Street side pavilion number 1. Next item is for September 3rd, 2024, arriving 2 p.m., departing 7 p.m. Liquor authorized, no. Maximum number of people is 100. Area requested is the field bathrooms and the field cross-country course, and is for the high school cross-country meet. Next one is for September 6, 2024, arriving 3 p.m., departing 8 p.m. Liquor authorized, no. Maximum number of people, 120 plus. Type of function, meter barbecue. They're looking for the parking lot area, open field, wooded areas on either side of the open field, and the pavilion. Next one is for September 7th, 2024, arriving 10 a.m., departing 4 p.m. Liquor authorized, none at this time. Maximum number of people, 65 plus. It is a company picnic, and the area requested is the parking lot area, open field, wooded areas on either side of the open field, and the pavilion. And the last one I have is for Thursday, October 24th, Rain date, October 25th, 2024. Arriving 1 p.m., departing 5:30 p.m. Liquor authorized, no. Maximum number of people, 400. Area requested, the pavilion and bathrooms, and the cross-country track. And under correspondence, I have a envelope addressed to each of the board members in the blue folder. It is with regret that I have to inform the board that I will be retiring from the town of Granby effective November 1st, 2024. My last workday will be October 31st, 2024.
I know, Chris, I've only been able to work with you for about 2.5 years now, maybe not even a full 2.5, but thank you. I know you do a lot here and a lot of people don't understand how much you do. And I'm just beginning to understand that now, being the chair and working with you. So thank you so much for all the time you've given to Granby.
Mhm.
Glenn's had a long time.
How many years have I been here?
20.
23, and by the time I retire, it'll be 3 months.
Well, thank you. It's a lot for 23 years.
Plus, it'll be actually 40 years in public service.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Chris, I'd truly like to thank you for your service to the town for many, many, many years. I'll see over the past 20 years, the town has changed considerably. So I'll save my other comments for when we're together one-on-one. But again, thank you.
Well, tough decision.
Yeah.
So we now have to look at a posting for the town administrator so we can get someone on board to learn the ins and outs as much as they can from your expertise.
Actually, the board needs to decide exactly what this position, you want this position to do. You know, as I've gone along, the requirements that have been put on the position by various boards has changed dramatically. Anywhere from human resource to dealing with retirement board, dealing with, anything and everything that gets thrown in front of the board. You're going to find a hard time finding people to step up to the plate if you have a lot of responsibilities. You may be required to maybe hire additional people to take up some of the additional workload. Not many people commit. I have a fiscal background, so it was great for me to help the town because you did have some financial issues. You still are having some financial issues. I see the town eventually getting through them. But a lot of people who are administrators are planners, not fiscal people. So I think the board has to decide what is the priorities for the town. Financial or planning for growth. You know, that's the issue you're gonna run into. Because this is a large farming community. You don't have a lot to attract big business here. You have a good road infrastructure. You have sewer in parts of town, but you don't have water and you don't have gas available. Those are a couple of the other major items that people will look for when they're coming to here. It would be nice to see you define an actual downtown. I believe Granby thinks it has two. One is the Five Corners Business District, and one is the Village Center. You know, and that's a problem because you can't develop the Village Center. So you should really, I believe, concentrate on Five Corners. I know, Glenn, you and I have had conversation in the past to maybe try and get a hotel in there. Apartments, multi-level apartments. In the master plan, we had talked about putting apartments on one level and stores on the lower level. You have a large base of people who you can tap into to come here. You got Mount Holyoke College students. You got Amherst College students. They would come here if you have the businesses to attract them. You even have McDuffie School students, you know, because we really don't offer enough to keep them here. They go on a bus to the malls, to the surrounding communities. You really need to try and look at how you can attract all these people. You find that the only reason they stop here is because they have to stop at the stop sign at Dunkin' Donuts. Other than that, I believe they would just continue going through. Okay? You really need to find ways of developing the 202 border and the 116 border to try and get people to come and spend their money in the town of Greenby. My own personal opinion, but one that I've developed over the last 23 years.
Unfortunately, too, the way things are moving forward, it seems that people are doing less and less business with storefronts. Over 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ago. You see it in certain areas. You see that the Holyoke Mall, just the changes there. Numerous stores have closed, and our neighboring cities and towns. So that was something to look at. When I think back on that conversation, we had this. I was at a town out east, looking at who's out there, and I noticed where the condo complex they were building. And underneath the condo complex was a bunch of different office space, a store. Even in the same parking lot of that complex, they built a Dunkin' Donuts. So they're pretty much, catering to the condo complex, but also giving a reason for them to, for the little convenience store. And the whole first floor was built off of a convenience store, and just a lot of different types of businesses throughout. One was a gym, and a couple other different businesses there. Made sense that people that lived in the condo complex would use those stores and those services as well. So it's definitely something to think about for future. You see different hotel companies and stuff like that. They do their work. They look at where a need is to put up a hotel, and you see it happening at various places. And not just that, I look at Route 33 in Chicopee, there's only 2 car washes within a mile of each other. And that's on top of the, I think, the 2 or 3 other car washes that are already on that same road, so, you know, those are things like you said. It's part of the different companies or corporations where AC and me, we have the opportunity to land to allocate that. It's always, you know, this has been a conversation I know since the past 7, 8, 9 years, when I started on the planning board, 8 years ago, 9 years ago. That was a conversation at that point too.
Yeah, Granby isn't a site for a big box store, a Walmart or things of that nature. I'm talking more like the Panera Bread, where the kids will go, be able to get a coffee and sit there and do their homework on a laptop with free Wi-Fi. Going to the Starbucks, you know, like you said, a convenience store, go and be able to get a snack or a quick sandwich or something of that nature. It's not a large organization you're looking for. You're looking for a bunch of, I'm going to call them mom and pop type stores, where they can go in, they can relax, they can have a good time. Because that's what college kids do. They just like to find a place to congregate.
Yeah.
And be able to do their work and be able to socialize and things of that nature and know that somebody isn't looking over their shoulder trying to get them out of the store.
Which is all good, but I think, especially for this board, you know, losing someone like yourself as the town administrator that has so much knowledge and obviously expertise in certain areas, it's definitely something that we need to look at. And I know this board, not this particular board, but previous board that I've been on, have had the conversations in regards to town administrators and other towns who've hired town administrators, and just what that person is doing versus Mr. Martin does here. So it's definitely something that we need to take a look at quickly, and, you know, determine what is needed and definitely move forward. So I think, you know, it would be for this board in the near future, you sit down with Mr. Martin and kind of, you know, go over things, or ask Mr. Martin to send us individually a list of everything that he does. But I know,
That's what I think would be.
I know he does a lot, and I know a lot of things that he does. I'm sure there's a lot of things I don't know what he does on the day-to-day operations for the town. And really, it's 3 months away.
Yeah. And we'll go fast.
We need to do our part too. Make sure that we have nothing in place sooner or later. God's will, because it's an important mission that the town needs to fill. You know, we were looking, I mean, for town accountants, which is another service that we might have to provide now. Maybe use. Yeah. I definitely like to see this board, it's definitely something that I know we're not expecting.
Regarding the town accountant, I did put the ad back in the MMA, and we did put it in the Daily Hampshire Gazette. We have one person who actually came in and filled out an application. We've had a couple people call and asked about it, and we sent them information. One person was concerned that said that they couldn't get the work done in 20 hours a week. And for a community this size, 20 hours a week is enough to get the work done. If you plan your time, you know. And if it was 35 hours a week, someone sitting in that position will make it be 35 hours a week. They'll stretch it out so far, okay? But to actually get the work done when you know the systems and you know UMIS and the accounting manuals, 20 hours a week is more than enough to get the work done.
Is that the application that we have in front of us that said they couldn't do it within 20
Nope,
hours?
that's the one who came in and actually filled out an application. We sent the information, we haven't heard back from that yet.
Okay.
I also was contacted by a firm in Greenfield, sent an email, if you want to forward to the board members. It's a firm that does accounting services. And they're willing to talk to somebody from the town regarding what the town would need. So if you want, I'll forward that to the 3 board members, and you guys can contact them and maybe invite them in to see what they can do for you.
Now, would they meet with you, Chris, as the town accountant now?
I wouldn't
As
have
far
a
as-
problem meeting with them, let
As
them,
far as what their duties would be and
yes,
what we're looking for?
yep.
Okay. I don't know if this is too fast, Chris, but like Glenn said, we need to move quickly because I know there's a shortage of town administrators. Would you be able to have a list together of all your duties by Monday at our meeting? Or is that stretching it
No,
too close?
I can have something together.
Okay.
I'll send it out to the 3 board members.
And could you also send us before next meeting the, I know it's been a long time since we posted for a TA, but do you have anything on file for, because you've never posted for a TA, so we would probably have to look for that, right?
I want to say it was back in 2005, 2006 that you advertised when the town administrator position was created.
Okay.
They had put out an ad, I believe, at that point. I'd have to, like I said, I'd have to go back and take a look at it, but things have changed since then too.
So-
I think it's important, this board, you reach out to some other communities and their select boards and ask if they have anything that they're willing to share with us with regards to their town administrator. I believe in the past couple of years, Ware has got a new town administrator.
Ludlow got a new,
Ludlow got a new one. South Hadley, was it too far?
and I think Southampton.
So there's some other communities out there. So it might be good just to reach out to their board members. Yeah, get some information so we can move forward on this.
And I believe there's a company out there now who is basically like a headhunter type of firm that does for municipalities. So
I'll definitely get that something that's portion of that, in regards to that. Someone can go out, try and find the person that we need that meets the qualifications. I don't think this board has necessarily
Expertise, yeah.
to do that. And again, this is a position that pretty much runs the day-to-day operations of the town.
Yep. All right, I know we are over the time for our meeting for the dog bite incident.
I'm Carl Lindberg, 19 Cedar Drive, and that's a tough announcement to follow. Congratulations, Chris. Holy cow. I would ask if I could submit some documentation to the board and to the police chief. Would that be okay?
Yep. Thank you.
And I want to be fair. We're still unsure if it was a bite. I'll just kind of go over the story here, if you would allow me. On July 10th, my wife, Nicole Remy, was jumped by a dog while walking the trails at Dufresne Park. It was a large chocolate lab that jumped her and either bit or scratched her arm, breaking the skin and causing her to bleed considerably. Nicole said it happened so fast. She's unsure if it was, a tooth, the nails of the front paws, but, the head was involved as she tried to push the dog away. It was an unleashed dog. Nicole was visibly shaken, and she had almost a 1.5 mile walk back to our house. She doesn't carry her cell phone when she goes for her walk. So, it was it's something that really affected us. Walking those trails and the streets of Granby is something we love to do. She was able to speak to another dog owner who was in his vehicle by the dog park. And that individual knew the dog. And paraphrasing his words, Whiskey is the name of the dog. That dog's been a problem since it was a puppy. The owner has no control over that dog. She was able to get the license plate of the only other car in the area, filed a police report, and she contacted animal control. So my big ask here, and before I get into this, I just want it to be known that I am not anti-dog. I love animals, okay? I am anti-irresponsible dog owner. That's the issue here. The other issue, as I see it, we don't have a leash law. And I'm 57 years old and I'm totally ignorant. You hear it all the time. Leash your dog. Isn't there a leash law? The bylaws, chapter 14, canine control, is much too subjective in my humble opinion. We're talking about a public park, a recreational park where Chris just went over all the people that are reserving space at a park and paying for that, as far as I know. I think this is a big liability for the town. Big liability. Nicole and I are not litigious people, but everyone I talked to said, you're crazy for not filing a lawsuit. We're not like that, though. I want to affect change, positive change. And I know there's dog owners in here. Again, I'll say it again, I'm not anti-dog. But people in a park, kids, smaller women, smaller men, should not be afraid to walk the trails. We walk there quite a bit. This is a very subjective statement now. I would say about 50% of the dogs are leashed. And of the other 50%, some people are good. They will, when they see people approaching, walking or running or riding a bike, they will, grab their dog and put it on a leash. But I would say half of that half don't care. And the dogs just carry on. So my ask, and I think I understand the rules here. I'm asking for a firm leash law, at least within the public parks of this town. Section 5, paragraph B of chapter 14, canine control, is far too subjective. Run at large dogs allows unleashed dogs off private property if they are in sight and under voice command. That could change in a heartbeat, in my opinion. The dog could see something, an animal. It could be the way the person is approaching, running, walking, on a bike, whatever. Could be the color shirt they have on. Could change that dog's normal behavior. I really think we need to look at this. And according to my read of the bylaws, I would have to get, in order to get a warrant at the next town meeting, I'd have to obtain 10 registered voters on a petition. Is that correct?
Special is 100. That would be to get an article on an annual town meeting.
Okay.
If you're requiring a special town meeting outside the May one, which is our annual, it's 100.
100. And I did have that. Thank you. Okay. So I guess my next question, Chris, or anybody, is that the only way to propose a change here?
No.
Okay.
If the board, if you have a proposed language, you could submit it to the board. The board could then hold a bylaw hearing to discuss any potential changes. And then they could schedule the special town meeting on their own, not requiring any additional signatures. And they would present the article, but more than likely, they would probably ask you to comment on it during the course of the meeting.
Okay. I guess I did not come prepared with such language, but I could do that at the next meeting. apparently.
We're more than willing to work with you. I know the prior bylaw review committee had looked at some potential changes to the dog bylaw, leash law. If you want, I'll see if I can find that document and send it to you, and then maybe that'll give you a basis to work off.
Appreciate that. Yeah, and, you know, we had a previous incident about 3 months prior, walking the same trails, and a dog came up behind me, pushed me. I'm not that small, I'm not that large, but I was able to remain standing. And I spoke to the owner, and they didn't care one bit, because that's their dog. The dogs are like kids. The owners, the parents are going to defend them to the end. So I guess that's really what I wanted to present. Like I said before, I think it's a huge liability if there was a more serious attack on town property. So.
Very sorry that happened to your wife. I've had incidences there with me leashing my dog and other people not leashing theirs, and their dog attacks mine. And then I get yelled at. So
Right.
I've been there.
Right.
So I understand the concern, absolutely. And I'm very sorry that happened to your wife.
It's awful. Anybody that's going through something like that, and I agree 100%, it could be a lot worse. Then, whether it's scratches or bites or either or, I mean, that's bad enough. It would be much worse. And this has come up over years, as Chris talked about some time ago too. I guess I'd ask the board members to kind of speak on this. I guess what I know is, I think that the select board should do the legwork to make this happen. I don't think we should ask, I think the rest of the, even members, different. I think this is something that we need to address.
I agree.
I mean, we have been lucky that something seriously hasn't happened. And whether, I mean, the town has a bylaw in place. So it does, in a roundabout way, protect the town, the town has a bylaw in place. However, I'm more concerned that, as you stated, someone being bit, someone being attacked, whether it's a person or someone else's animal. I agree. It's supposed to be under control of your dog. Or if your dog takes off and you're yelling at your dog, you're not in control. That's something I'm looking at. I mean, it's a little different than you open up your front door, the dog just runs out, and you didn't realize what's going to happen, but when they're out and about and stuff like that, there are people and animals and, animals are animals. They do a lot of different things that the owners don't anticipate they do, because how well they're raised. I've seen canine dogs that are trained for many years do things they never thought they do. They get caught up in whatever the moment would be. So I would encourage this board to kind of take the undertaking. There's some other kind of talked about before that there's some information that we've gone down this road before, and take a look at that and let us put something together in regards to bylaw and work with the bylaw committee and put something together. I appreciate it, but I think this is something that the town should take on. And again, if the board members feel that this is something worthy of us taking on, I think it's important.
Chris, do we still have a bylaw review committee?
No,
Yeah.
that's why I was gonna ask if you're interested in working with us on
Sure.
this one item. We'd be more than happy to have you assist us in getting a wording together.
I'd be willing to put together a petition if I had to go that route as well, so.
And it says here took a trip to urgent care at your own cost.
Yep.
Tetanus shot.
Tetanus shot for my wife. The dog was up to date with rabies, so that was a good thing. Being able to identify that dog by the license plate, that was huge.
They didn't have that.
I know. Believe me. Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion that if you had any out-of-pocket expenses, please submit them to us and we will reimburse you for any out-of-pocket expenses.
I appreciate that, but that's really not my end game. I just want people to be able to go to that park and feel like they can walk or run or ride a bike without getting jumped by a dog.
But the offer is there for
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, yeah.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
So Chris, you'll send the changes to the bylaw from the bylaw review committee.
Yeah, let me go back and look. That's been a couple of years back.
Yep.
Like I think 2021. I'll see what they did. And if I need be, I'll see if we can get the animal control officer involved to see if maybe she would have any input regarding the any changes to the proposed bylaw.
Do you want, do you suggest she comes to one of our meetings to discuss the changes, or is this gonna
Let
be
me-
a separate meeting?
Let me look at the what the proposed changes were by the former bylaw review committee. Let me run those by her and then see if she has any comments regarding those, and then she could come to a subsequent board meeting to discuss what her thoughts are regarding the leash law.
I would tend to think that it should be mandatory in public. I mean, there's people that come from other towns, sporting events, people in parks. If they're letting dogs run, it could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, at home, my dog sees the rabbit, guess what?
Gone.
He's gone.
Sure.
Or a squirrel.
Again, animals and animals.
Yep. So,
All right, next on the agenda.
Before we move forward, I missed two of the cross-country meets on the new frame rental. The first one was for September 3rd. The second one was for September 10th.
You
then
had
I
the
put-
September 3rd one.
September 3rd, 2024.
Yep.
Okay. Then we have one for September 10th, 2024. And one for October 1st, 2024. Sorry.
All right. Do we have any citizen participation today?
Nothing was filed.
All right, and Chris, I know we only got to a small section of the correspondence. I did read that Dave Desilets resigned from the Conservation Commission.
Yes, he is now going to be their paid assistant, their
Okay.
conservation assistant.
So we now have an opening on the Conservation Commission.
I believe, Captain, we have one opening for him now? Two. We still have two openings.
And those are on the website, right? It's good news that we're not losing him.
No, he's going to be a more valued person by being the clerk or the assistant, conservation assistant,
And being paid.
and getting paid. Yes, yes.
All right, and I did notice also we have a letter from the Church of Christ for the village, and I don't see it on the agenda.
Now, that is down, I think it was,
Oh, and other business?
yes.
Okay.
If you want, you can move it to the top of the agenda.
Yeah, let's move it to the top. So I noticed Dennis is here to speak about it. Yeah, if you can come up, Dennis. And Cindy Watson?
Does everybody have a letter from Terry Johnson? Okay, I didn't get a copy of that, I'm sorry. Greetings, board. Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
Hi, Granby Land. What we're asking for is
Sorry,
the,
Dennis, can you just say your name?
oh, I'm sorry, I'm Dennis Doucette. I live over in the senior housing over in Fence Hill. And I'm also the chair and organizer of the Dino Fest, which is going to be happening on September 14th this year. And what was requested, or what came to me to request, was this, we call it the Little Village. I don't know what else to call it. It's a model size of all the historical buildings in Granby. From what I understand, it's being stored presently in the West Street School. I don't know where, but it's there somewhere. And what the Historical Society has suggested was to assemble it next to the courthouse across from the Common during during the Dino Fest. They want to set up an archway to get to it. They have people that have volunteered to dress in period clothing to give tours of the small buildings. I think it's a great idea. I think it would really help promote a community event that we're doing. So the only thing I'm asking of this board, first of all, for permission to use it. I can get a crew. I have a crew tentatively. But first thing is to see if it's okay to use. Once we get it, if it's okayed, then got to find out where it is, who's got the key, how many buildings is it, what's involved with moving it from where it is to the location that they want to set it up, and then disassembling it and bringing it back. The insurances are okay. I've checked all the insurances. Everything seems to be in order. While it's assembled, I believe the courthouse insurance will cover it. If not, I can get a blanket insurance for the Dino Fest to cover that section. Transporting it, we figured that the insurances of the vehicles themselves would cover the buildings. Because we will probably use pickup trucks and trailers to move it. But like I say, I really don't know how to assemble it yet. I will. By the end of it, I'll figure it out.
I would look at, as far as, where to get this.
Yeah.
Usually they won't cover that, not a company transporting things. It's not like you have cargo that would be insured.
Right. Well, I'm thinking, if they have personal insurance or if they have housing insurance, usually housing insurance covers anything in or on the vehicle.
And I'm with you on that, because I know exactly what you're talking about. That's usually personal items. I would just say,
Well, if I can-
look at is a rider for the insurance company to cover something like that while it's being transported. That's
Again, if this board says it's okay, I'll pursue the insurances on that, and I'm sure the Church of Christ can get a rider to cover the transport of that. But as it stands now, I think this is like a first for anybody to request that where it is. I know Cindy donated it to the town, and I think I'm the first that's asked to see if we can display it. And this is also going to happen. It's also kind of a pioneer, because we're going to ask again in the winter to set it up on the common when we have snow and we're really Christmassy and put all kinds of lights on it and stuff. So if once we get to figure out what's needed, we'll use Dino Fest as the gateway, if you will, and then we can figure it out further, because those buildings, they're really cool. They're very, very well made. And they do reflect a lot of our town, a lot of history on our town. And there's a lot of love and care that goes into those buildings. And I think they're just neat. They are really, really cool. We had one year where we went out and sang carols around them, and people had a wonderful time. We served hot chocolate and all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot of fun to that. But I can't see them just sitting and collecting dust when there's so much history in those buildings. Now, if it's okay with this board, the reason I'm asking if we can get some kind of a decision tonight is there's advertising involved to advertise that the buildings will be up and there. There's the volunteers for that want to dress in period clothing need to be educated on what the buildings are and how to pursue it. The arrangement of the buildings. They want to have an archway to it, so you can walk through an archway into it. Got to find the archway for it. So there's rental companies that we have to contact. But like I said, the first step is, can we have it? And who's got the key?
So September 12th would be a Thursday, right?
It'll be September 12th, yeah. Well, if I can see it, like the 12th, the 10th, just to see it, see what's involved in moving it. I do have people that have good-sized trailers that can move it, car kind of trailers, or tractor trailers, if you tractor moving trailers. Not a tractor trailer, but a trailer that moves tractors. We do have the vehicles that can do it. I can come up with the manpower. I already talked to the fire department about it. I talked to the chief and he said it's not in the man hours, which is okay. I get it. That's all right. I understand that. But I didn't know which way to pursue it. And here I am.
I don't have a problem with them borrowing it. I think it's a great idea to put it out there during Dino Fest and even for Christmas. I think it's going to look beautiful. When they were moved in the past, because they weren't the town's property, insurance wasn't needed. And now that they've been donated to the town, insurance is required to move them. Yes, Cindy, thank you.
Lisa, do you want
I think when I was here a couple of years ago, I told you how the village became a village. In the at the 200th anniversary of the town, there were some people who built to scale models of historic houses, churches, etc. We never found a list of those people. It was on display. There were about 5 or 6 buildings at that time that were on display at West Street School, because we found slides of them at the Historical Association. And Maudetta Taylor had them in the barn after the 200th anniversary, when everybody was putting things away. Her husband and some other men put all of the buildings in the barn, and they sat there for a little more than 40 years. And when they were placed, they weren't actually placed. They were taken apart and they were put. And Maudetta had called me and asked me if I could help her get them out of the barn. And it was, where are we going to put them if we get them out of the barn? I asked the Historical Association for permission to put them in the Butler barn there. And my significant other and myself went down to the barn, found the pieces, we had to put the pieces together. We cleaned everything up because after 40 years of sitting in dust, it was hard to tell what they were. And the fire department helped us. They brought the trailer down, and we moved the pieces up to the Historic Association barn. And they were there until I had to move them out because the Historic Association needed more room for our displays, as I'm on that too. And I came here to ask you to take the town, the village, because it belongs to the community and it can be used for other purposes. I mean, educational, historic, whatever. And Dennis basically is asking you to give him permission to take them out of storage and put them on the side lawn of the Historical Association for that day for the Dino Fest. And time is wasting because of advertising. And when we moved them, we didn't have insurance and all of those problems that come up. We just had volunteers. There were probably 5 of us, and we moved the buildings. And the same thing happened when the buildings were taken out of the Historical Association barn. It was a couple of the fellows from the fire department. One thing I was going to ask you was, don't the fire department and police department still do community service or certain things?
I do believe it's against their contract to do that.
Because that's how we got it at that time.
Yeah.
And that was back in 2011 or 12. I think it was 2012.
Is that correct?
I don't know if it's in their contract.
I don't think
It's not in the contract. Not in the contract.
We can ask, you know, see if, with the fire department or police department.
But as,
Any department within the town or
right,
wants to assist with that. That's totally up to the individual.
but as the board, are you giving him permission to remove them or to have them removed and placed at the Historical Association for September 14th, which is the date of the Dino Fest? They would be out there for the day. And Dino Fest, I believe, Dennis, is until 3 o'clock?
It's 9 to 4.
9 to 4, okay. Till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And they could be moved after that.
Well, I do believe it says on the letter, return on September 15th or 16th.
Well, doing it that same day
It's gonna
might be a
hard.
little bit of exhausting.
Yeah. it's-
Following day is a Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can.
So going back to that question, Chris, is insurance required to move them?
Personally, no. I don't think so. It's just the fact that if they get damaged, who's gonna be held responsible?
I guess where I am with that, it's not that who's being held responsible, but parts are damaged, we want to preserve it. We're gonna have to hire someone to maybe, whether there's something that fix it or something like that, we want to preserve that. That's the only reason I would say, as far as insurance would be, but it sounds like you already looked into that.
Considering the amount of tradesmen that we have in our churches, I think we can fix it.
We did this. There were a few of us that worked to put these buildings together in the first place. And they should be marked wall 1, 2, 3, 4, things like that. The 2 churches, there's a steeple for the Church of Christ. That's a separate piece. But it's basically, most of us could put it together. You can figure it out. So if we have volunteers, which Terry is working on right now, to do that, I don't see it as being a problem because Bob and I got it started. Just basically the 2 of us doing most of the work. And then we asked some others because we needed some other people to help us carry them out.
I think it's a great idea.
I think so too.
you know, it brings some history back to a lot of people who probably haven't seen in the past. I mean, the insurance is one thing, but as you said too, that you get a lot of people in the church that are, you know, that had probably construction type background that church.
Not just my church, all.
Oh, yeah.
And to your point earlier, you moved it some time ago when it,
You just come together and you do it. And it's like being with the scouts. You learn how to do things and you stumble and crack your chin open or something, but you know,
True.
there's nothing like that involved.
We were thinking about asking the Lions Club to kick in, Scouts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts.
Yeah, Terry's got that pretty well under control.
That way, in the future, other people would know how to assemble this thing. This is something.
is there still people around that know how to assemble it? That have assembled it in the past?
They've aged out, basically. It's hard. I mean, everybody is dealing with different physical things. So. But the younger ones can come along and learn. And anybody who's interested in woodworking or just building something.
And you have it all labeled, as you said, so
I'm sorry?
you have it all labeled, like puzzle pieces, you put them together.
Right. Well, they're not
So-
really, there may be 4 pieces or 6 pieces.
Yeah.
The most complicated building is the library, and Phil Dennett built that. And I'm sure that he would come and say, well, this goes there and that goes there,
Good.
because that took the longest to put together. But if we can get people to add to it too, that would be something. We have 3 or 4 additional buildings now. One is not finished, and I'm going to try to contact the person who was building it. It's Dressel's, and he forgot to look behind Dressel's. So it was flat on the ground, but it should have been up and gone down in the back. But he's at a different fire department now, so I have to trace him. We have Bill's store. We have Dino Land, first building that Mr. Nash put up. And everything is gone. We have the Aldrich Mill. That's gone. Dino Land is gone. The town is changing. So it'd be nice to hang on to some of that. That's no more. That's your logo or our logo, and it's not there. Anyway, thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
So do we have a motion for them to use the little village for Dino Fest?
Make a motion to allow them to use the village for Dino Fest.
Have a second?
I'll second.
I forgot one thing. I don't know. I didn't hear if you said it. We'd like you to be there. We'd like you to come to Dino Fest.
Absolutely. Any and all people are invited to come to Danvers, especially the select. And if you want a booth, I'll get you a booth.
I like to see the buildings all set up.
You haven't seen it.
Neither have I.
I have pictures, but I'll have you come to Dino Fest before I show you the pictures.
All right. Any
I'm
further?
excited about Christmas time, watching y'all.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
So Chris, should we have Dennis get a hold of Jeremy, to access the buildings between September 10th and 12th?
Well, Jeremy's is still
not
out on injury right now.
Okay.
So when he's ready, he should just call the office.
Just call Kathy.
We'll see who's available.
Well, I think you gotta get them over there beforehand to actually see everything, make sure everything.
So call the office and make an appointment, and we'll see of having someone being over there.
So,
So we're good?
yeah, you're gonna call Kathy and schedule an appointment so that someone can meet you over there and check out the buildings.
All right, I really, really appreciate your time, I really appreciate the board's time. But again, I want to invite all of them, to please come to Dino Fest. Show your face. So these are our select people. And if you would like, I can set up a booth for you, where maybe pass off some information, get some more information going.
I will be there for the open space committee, Dennis,
Okay.
and for my brother's fund, so I will be there.
Really? You're gonna do your brother's thing again?
Yep,
Awesome.
I will be there.
Okay. I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, board. Thank you, Granby.
Welcome.
All right. I'm just trying to get the people who have appointments here. I know we have a long list of stuff to go through. Chris, I know we have a long list of stuff to go through. Do we want to move the OPM up? Because I noticed the groups here. I just don't want
No, that's fine.
everyone to be waiting as we go through everything.
Yep, no, that's fine.
So we are gonna move the OPM forward so that you guys can do that now instead of waiting, because we haven't even gotten to number 1 and you guys are number 7. So if you guys would like to come up here, Lynn Menard, if we have any questions about the OPM. If we have any questions, the board's gonna, I already read it through. We're gonna open it up for discussion and stuff, but just in case we have any questions. Possibly, I don't know. what
Yes.
you don't want. Yes.
That's not the table.
What? I can.
They don't bite.
All right, so Chris, do you want to give us an overview? I know it was a very long document and lots of duties
Yes.
for the operating project manager. I think the only question I had, is it standard for them to, if the project takes longer than expected, is it standard for them to charge monthly?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
Because the issue is
That
this.
was a lot of money.
Well, the issue is this, is if you look at his price is based upon the schedule
Okay.
that was put out in the RFQ. Okay? So the price he gave us of 285,000 is for the time frame from now to, I think that was probably March of 2025 that we were looking at, okay?
Yeah,
Now,
41.
We run into something, now he has to put more time in, and the project gets delayed. So what happens is he will incur more expenses. And he's saying, if we run over, say, a month, it's gonna cost us $10,000 if it's a month more for architect. If it's a half a month, it'll be $5,000. If it's 1 week, it'll be a quarter of a month. Things of that nature, okay? It will be prorated, but you never know what you're gonna run into. All of a sudden, you open a wall and something's there that you don't realize, and it's gonna take a little extra time for him to figure a way around it. Okay? We're looking at, based upon what we put in our document, what we talked about when we did the walkthrough with interested firms. This is what he based his price on. Okay? We don't know what's hidden. We don't know if there's going to be an issue with getting some supplies, which will entail him having to put more time into the project. And as we all know, time is money in any contract. But to go through this, the OPM contract process, we had hoped to have had this done back in March, to be honest with you. We had put out our original RFP, and we had 7 people walk through the building. Nobody put a bid in. Okay? A lot of people think that we haven't been doing much as a committee, but the committee's been busy but quiet. Part of it was the tank removal. That was a long process because we had to wait 60 days to get the permit approved. Once it was approved, the tank is gone. We lucked out. There was no issues with any of the soil samples.
And you got the results back?
And we got the results back. Yes. We actually have it on file so that if anybody wants the document, we can send it to them. Okay. The OPM contract, what we did is we went through and contacted one of the firms that did the walkthrough. And we asked them, why did you not put a bid in? And we sat there, we had a subcommittee of the committee who met with them, and we went through the various scenarios. So what happened is the committee then voted to revise the original RFP downwards a little bit to make it more workable according to this company who came in and talked to us. We re-advertised again, and of course that's another month that we have to wait. And we had one person come to the walkthrough, but we got 3 responses, 3 written responses to the RFP. So, as part of the process, in the RFP, we had a set of criteria to judge the respondents by. So, a interview, or lack of an interview, lack of a better word, was set up with each of the firms. They came in, they made a presentation, and the subcommittee members turned around and ranked each of the firms based upon the criteria. In the way our contract was written, we weren't giving it to the low bidder. Price had nothing to do with it. It had to deal with qualifications. So, the way the RFP was written, we had to go with the highest ranked company that met qualifications. So we entered into contract negotiations with them. I asked them for a price to do the work as listed in the RFP. He sent his price of $285 for the complete project. That came out to be about 6.25% of the total construction cost, which is in the range because normally they can run between 5 and 7% for OPM type of contracts. We had budgeted 10%, playing it safe, so it's under budget, okay, according to our budget that we have presented to the 10. So we now have a contract sitting in front of you to enter into a contract for services for an OPM for the West Street Building project for $285,000. And I believe with a tentative end date of March 31st, 2025. Does the committee have anything different to say?
So I think you've summed it up perfectly.
That was everything.
Okay.
And then the extra services are extra duties that were not foreseen when writing the,
Could very well be, or there's a delay for some reason or other, so additional work has to be done, things of that nature.
Try to put us back on the pace. Our hope is that, while he's in the looking to hire an architect phase, they'll also work on an RFP to get the asbestos out of that building.
For the abatement.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
So if for some reason, the architect says, no way you can do this for that kind of money or something, the asbestos has to be removed, whether we later demolish it or whatever.
Right.
Everybody seems on board. He didn't seem, with the numbers presented for what they want to do, this gentleman saying his company seemed like they were.
It's
not
doable.
quite- Yeah, it's a doable, yes.
And once this contract is endorsed, then the committee will start doing more and more work, and they will be meeting probably more and more often. See if we can get a bit of tapes.
What do we have in our budget that is being allotted for the project? Didn't we acquire $5.2 million is what I,
Yes, 5.2 million was the total project cost,
Yeah.
which included a contingency, the OPM, the architect. Then we had for asbestos removal, we had a price, we had for window and door replacement, we had a price to replace the water system, we had a price to put in fire suppression, we had a price. But we found out that now with the water suppression, basically sprinkler system, because it's on a well, that there's an exemption, that you don't have to do every room now. You can do mainly the main corridors, which will save us money. It was the price to put a tank in the ground, a cistern, and it included a diesel pump also. We talked to our local electrical inspectors. He went in and looked at the plans. He didn't seem to think that there was much that had to be done with that outside, maybe a little bit of upgrades. We have talked with National Grid about putting the transformer outside the building. All it's going to cost us to put a pad down. We've talked about, what else do we have?
Well, in that quote was asbestos removal.
Yes. And then we had HVAC. We planned HVAC, about 500,000 for that. We have a price from a energy efficiency company that they broke the building into 5 zones. And each zone is going to be about $300,000 to install a AC air conditioning with roof-mounted compressors. We can do either all 5 or we can do a portion thereof, so on and so forth. I do know we were looking at converting part of it for storage. We're looking at that, things of that nature. The only thing we didn't have a good feel for was EDA. Because that building, while it has stair lifts, stair chairs, we don't know if we can continue to use those under a current change from a school to municipal. We don't know that. We're waiting for the architect to say that. Okay. That's the one item that we weren't sure of. We couldn't really get anybody to come in and give us an idea about ADA issues.
Yeah.
Most of it is single level, so we're pretty much safe on that. There's ramps coming in both the rear and the front of the building. So we have that covered. It's just inside, there's a couple stairwells. We're not quite sure if we may have to put a lift in, like we have here, to go just between first and second level, or if we can continue to use the stair chair.
if the hallway is wide enough, they can split it.
Yes, yes, okay.
So I guess my question is, why do I see a 5.7 million?
There's 5.7 here too.
Where's it 5.7?
I'll find the page. I saw that as well.
It's second to the last page. Proposal for services requested in
that's-
conjunction with West Street School, $5.7 million
Are you
as
talking about the
follows.
letter?
Yes, is that
So that's not part of the
estimated
contract.
value?
No, that's not part of the
That's not
contract.
part of the contract, that was just negotiations.
So that's the number that they gave for negotiation. What's the final number we're at currently if they, well, we don't have a final number.
Wasn't
is
it
that right?
5.6 was the actual number we appropriated? I don't have the budget sitting in front of me, that's why
I
I can't
recall
tell.
5.2, but I could be wrong also.
I thought it was 5.7. 6 and change, so I think it was just rounded up.
Well, I think something like
And
that.
that's,
Right, well, they say that,
Estimated.
that project is including the OPM bids, the architects and stuff like that. That's not actually the 4 point whatever for the actual work in the building, so you take the 4 point whatever plus the 800, 900, whatever. That's where that 5.7 number comes from. Search.
So you say the annual? I was looking at the book that was given out at town meeting because it was on
I would just hate to see it run $500,000 over budget right out of the gate, if that's what this is alluding to.
5.686
6.
was what
Was what we transferred? Was
was approved.
approved, okay.
5,686,639.
Well, he probably just rounded it up near.
Yeah.
it's an estimated budget that what it may cost.
They know we're gonna give them, this is what you have.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that number and thinking that we're at 5.2 and that's already $500,000, so just wanted to question it.
That's okay.
It's a lot of money. It's just time.
Absolutely.
So 5.6 was the final and change.
668.
Okay.
So in here it talks about the owner's project manager will stay in contact with the town or the town representative. So who is going to be our town representative, Chris, if you leave
That'll be the committee.
the committee?
The committee is the representative of the town here for this project.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, I did see that we will hire a clerk as clerk of works to make sure.
I asked them to give me a price for 40 hours during construction.
Okay,
I want a clerk there all the time, because when the clerk isn't there is when contractors decide
Cut
to
corners.
skirt
sure,
doing the true job.
okay, as long as somebody's going to oversee it.
Yes.
Good. And then the phasing of the AC. Are there other pieces that could be phased? I'm just thinking if we start running into cost overruns because of unforeseen conditions.
As the committee talks and goes through this at their regular meetings, they'll be monitoring the costs to make sure we're staying within budget. And if there is a potential overrun, then they will have to look at,
Bring it forward
yes.
and see, so we could possibly cut somewhere else to put here if we had to.
Like when we
So
talk about a
sprinklers.
system for a sprinkler system,
Yep.
we really want to put that size for the entire building,
Correct.
but maybe we don't plumb the entire building right now, or they come and tell us, for $5,000, you're only gonna save 5,000 by not plumbing the rest of the building.
Sure. Right.
But then we'll figure out
How to save it somewhere,
Yeah.
to put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
especially for, like you say, the core of the building is.
Yeah, you never know. When you open stuff up, you don't know.
That's why we think it's gonna be a good idea to while he's getting the architect on board, let's get the walls opened up and get that asbestos out of there. And it's
Which-
easier.
Which, as you say, has to be done anyway,
Right.
whether you demolished it or.
Exactly.
So. I think that's all the questions I have.
And he did put my name as a signatory, but you can scratch my name off and put your name there too. That's up to you.
On page 10, 8.2.1, is that supposed to say abatement scope? I think abatement SOPE. I think that's the abatement
It
scope,
should be
and
scope.
it's going to be 2 bidding procurements. It says bidding will be not more than 2 procurements.
Yes,
So
and so,
scope, okay.
that just says scope.
Is town council, they look at the contract?
Yes, I did send it to him and he had no issues.
A lot of it is boilerplate stuff that they,
The original one that I did send him, he didn't give a definition for a couple of the terms. And he was willing to add those in the front end. So. Yes, council did vet the contract.
Yeah, you have to change the project title,
Why?
West Street School,
Everybody calls it West Street School.
not a school.
Well, it is until we change it to,
West Street School renovation.
It stopped becoming a school.
Municipal
and students
offices.
Moved out in the town to.
I call it building, everybody still refers to it
Well,
as
I
West
think
Street School.
it should be called the building, because, you know, people, I don't, people think we're renovating a school. We're not renovating a school.
Well, SEP says municipal offices project.
We can change the title.
I
If you
think it
want to
should be
change to building, we can change it to building.
What-
I can contract them. I can contact them and get a new contract that says building versus school.
It was page 1. She can sign it.
All right, any further questions? Can I have a motion for Chris to sign the contract on our behalf, given the changes of West Street building renovation and page 10 changing SOTE to scope?
make a motion to accept the contract with changes as discussed to be able to be signed by Chris to start the phases of construction.
Do you have a second?
Second motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is to accept departmental reports. Did everyone get a chance to read all the departmental reports? Do you have a motion?
Make a motion to accept departmental reports.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
I have no questions.
The only question I had was on the building commissioner. So he writes down the addresses, Chris, and he says he's special.
You said-
Oh, okay. That's right.
What do you want to know?
It says like the addresses that he does inspections at, but it doesn't say what it was for. I think that's what they used to do in the past, whether it was a CO or, yeah, so it just gives us a little more background.
We did have
Okay.
previous one.
Yeah. But I do like that he's been organizing everything into an online database because it makes it easier for them to search instead of go through a filing system, which is really nice. That was actually the only thing I had. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next on the agenda is to approve and sign maintenance warrants. Here's your stuff.
It's a beautiful stuff.
It's a big one.
It is a big one. We went through it. Okay, here we go. Okay, Make a motion, the town of Granby authorize for payments on warrant number 79S dated 6/28/2024 for the sum of $210,000, $733.66.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion, the town of Granby authorize for payment warrant number 79 dated 6/28/2024 with a total disbursement of $146,362.45.
Second the motion.
Any further discussion? Kathy, I know I do this every year. For the real estate refunds, how does that work? So they pay, the town pays on their behalf, and then when people, like, why are we refunding?
It could be that they overpaid,
Okay,
that, a new person, there's all sorts of reasons.
okay, because there was a long list of them, so I was trying to, is it similar to the excise taxes where,
They go in, they get an abatement. They go
Okay.
to the, board of assessor's office, and, they, put in paperwork, and they agree that, it could be for veterans, it could be for, really, age.
a lot of variables?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And you might want to mention that they would be their all fiscal year 24, right? The ones that you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, I'm reading the date, right? 6/28/24 for fiscal year 24. Okay.
When you get to number 1 and on, it'll be fiscal year 2025.
Gotcha.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, make a motion, town of Granby authorized for payment warrant number 81S dated 6/30/2024 for fiscal year 24 for a total disbursement of $156,307.75.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Actually, I'm sorry, on this one, I will abstain from the color run reimbursement for myself when I did the Granby Wrestling 5K.
And which one was that, 79 or 80?
It was 81S.
We're on that.
Sorry, Kathy. Thank you.
Make a motion that the town of Granby authorize for payment warrant number 81 dated 6/30/2024 fiscal year 2024 with a total disbursement of $138,129.07.
Second motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Kathy, do we know, did the cemetery project come under bid?
Yes.
It did, okay. Because I know we paid a lot for that one, so I just wanted to make sure. Okay, that's it. All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion, the town of Granby authorize for payment, warrant number 82, dated 6/30/2024, fiscal year 24. Total disbursement for warrant 82, $31,243.72.
Second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion, the town of Granby authorize for payment, warrant number 82S, dated 6/30/2024, for fiscal year 24, with a total disbursement for warrant 82S of $81,364.39.
Second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Okay, moving into fiscal year 2025. I make a motion that the town of Granby authorize for payment warrant number 0001, dated 7/1/2024, for a total disbursement of $2,129,589.51.
Second the motion.
Any further discussion? Kathy, what was the police and fire accident?
That's probably all insured. I know
Okay.
that, but Dean and pay them all at once.
Okay.
Instead of monthly, pays it all.
Okay. Yeah, the premium for the year. Okay.
We have got
Yeah, I was gonna say, it wasn't in the departmental report, so I thought I was missing something, but it might be, like she's saying, just the category that they pulled from. Yeah, I know. All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
This one. excuse me, I make a motion.
It's a payroll warrant number 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, there it is. Yep. Make a motion for payroll account summary, town of Granby warrant number 2, dated 7/2/2024 for fiscal year 2025, with a total gross payment of $439,966.76.
Second motion.
Any further discussion?
Hmm?
As usual, I will abstain from the selectmen and teacher salary. All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Vote and necessity for the set the salary.
Thank you.
Make a motion for the town of Granby to authorize payments for warrant number 003, dated 7/5/2024 for fiscal year 25, with a total disbursement of $84,446.96.
Second motion.
Any further discussion?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion for the town of Granby to authorize payments for warrant number 0004, fiscal year 25, dated 7/12/2024, with a total disbursement of $61,588.76.
Second motion.
Any further discussion?
None.
All in favor?
Aye.
There usually isn't this many, but you had to separate it between the fiscal years, right? That's why there's so many. It's like double.
Seems like tripled.
Plus, it's been a while since you were,
Yep. Because he was on vacation, I was on vacation, and
Yeah,
now
it's
we're.
been a few weeks, right?
yeah,
So no one did anything when I was off for a second.
no, they needed your guidance. They needed your guidance as the elder on the board.
Make a motion that the town of Granby authorize for payment warrant number 004S for fiscal year 25, dated 7/12/2024, with a total disbursement of $64,770.98.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
None.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Only 4 more.
Yeah.
Make a motion for payroll account, Town of Granby warrant number 0005, dated 7/17/2024 for fiscal year 25, with a grand total of $402,344.04.
Second the motion?
Any further discussion?
None?
I will abstain from the selectmen and teachers' salaries. And I did have one question, and the chief is actually here. What does ENC mean?
Encumbered.
Encumbered? Okay.
Was that on the payroll warrant you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we have now passed the end of the fiscal year and we are paying for wages in a prior fiscal year. You know, usually about October, I bring a letter in for encumbrances that you sign off on. That is for any bills that were actually incurred in the prior fiscal year that are paid in the subsequent fiscal year. So what you have to do is encumber the funds from, in this case, fiscal year 24 to be paid in fiscal year 25. So what we do is as we're paying those, we automatically put them into an encumbrance account.
Okay.
And then what happens is when we are all done, said and done, we will go through and generate, the accountant will generate that letter to you for encumbrances for general fund, sewer, ambulance, and municipal solid waste, and for capital projects, any unspent articles. You will sign off on that, and then those balances brought forward to the current fiscal year and posted as budgetary amounts that some have already been spent and some are now available to be spent in the current fiscal year.
So it's not like going over the budget, it's just that that bill has transferred over to the next
To
fiscal year.
the subsequent fiscal year, yes.
Thank you for the explanation.
All in favor?
Aye. David and I will vote on assessment for the selectmen, so.
Thank you. That wasn't a whole while ago.
Okay, make a motion for the Town of Granby, authorization for payment on warrant number 0006, dated 7/19/2024 for fiscal year 25. Total disbursement on this warrant is $148,801.77.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion that the Town of Granby authorize for payment warrant number 0007, dated 7/26/2024 for fiscal year 25. Total disbursement for this warrant, $252,503.26.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye. I make a motion that the town of Granby authorize for payment warrant number 007S dated 7/26/2024 for fiscal year 25 with a total disbursement of $36,365.37.
Any further discussion?
No discussion?
All in favor? Aye. Next on the agenda is to approve minutes. I know the minutes were sent a little after 1 today. Did everyone get a chance to read them?
I did.
Okay, so do you want to just table it till next Monday?
If you did, it would be fine.
Well,
I did not.
yeah, I don't want to do,
Yeah, no.
don't table it until
So I have,
Monday.
there were 2 on
I think there's 5.
Yeah,
6 of
then
them.
I didn't see them all.
Okay.
Missed them. Apologies.
That's okay, well, table it for Monday. So we'll do the minutes on 8. Okay, right, 8/5?
Are you still meeting on 8/5?
No, we're not, it's 8.
I
Yeah,
know you're meeting the 19th with the union.
yeah,
The 12th, I think the chief wasn't here, and,
right.
Right.
but I think the three of you were,
Len's not here.
but I think the three of you were here on the 12th.
So we're doing it as well.
Yes,
That was just for,
yes.
Okay. So we're meeting at 8/12 and 8/19 in August,
Correct.
so we can do the minutes then. All right. So next one is to approve and sign common victualers license.
Yeah, the table is kind of sticky. I mean,
It is really sticky.
they can stitch to it.
We're just sticking, but no. Yeah.
Okay, make a motion to grant a common vic license number 24-39 to certify that 367 State Incorporated, East State Incorporated, doing business as Brusso's Liquor Mart at 367 East State Street in Granby, be granted a common vic license in said town of Granby, that place only and expires December 31st, 2024, unless sooner suspended or revoked for violations of laws of the Commonwealth respecting license of common vics. The license is issued in conformity with the authority granted the licensing authorities by general laws, Chapter 140, and amendments thereto.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
license. I make a motion that the town of Granby offer a one-day special alcohol permit with a fee of $100. A special license for alcoholic beverages, wine and malt. Date of event, 8/10/24. Responsible manager, David Capriati. Organization name, The Beer Guy LLC. Addressed at 2 Mountain View Street, South Hadley, Mass. For a wedding event at Deer Creek Farm on 193 Amber Street in Granby, Mass. Alcoholic beverages will be purchased from Quality Beverages on 880 Burnout Road, Chicopee. Quantity of alcohol being purchased, 3 cases of beer, 5 cases of Truly. Can't quite read that one.
4 cases of red wine, 4 cases of white wine and stock.
Start time at 2 p.m. and at 10 p.m.
A second?
Second.
Any further discussion? I was gonna say, I'm gonna actually ask the chief if he has anything he wants to discuss with the permit as well.
Yeah, the discussion, I requested, I'm going to say that the beverages be consumed under the tent.
Okay.
But I also wanted you to approve it pending, the board check.
Okay, okay.
Let's see what she was saying. Kathy, what were you saying? There's something else that you put here?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
it's
core.
the end of the, one that you have to actually sign up,
Oh, I'm sorry.
the permit.
At the very bottom in the bold.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you. The only alcohol allowed on premises will be malt and/or wine. Applicants must provide a 1 million insurance policy acceptable to the town. All beer and wine must be consumed in the main tent area of the event. No serving people under 21 years of age, no serving to intoxicated persons, no serving alcohol before 2 p.m. or after 10 p.m. on August 10th, 2024.
What was the reasoning behind being underneath the tent, chief?
Over there, not on the property.
In the woods and like, okay, okay,
And the tent has the side, so it's just,
it's easier to
exactly,
contain.
you know.
Okay.
Are they aware of that?
I haven't had any conversation with this, but that's always been, and when fire chief and I talked to Deer Creek Farm, we were just started talking about this, we did say that that would be, I said that that's what I would request.
That's the only issue that they're aware of it.
This is-
That's fine. Discussing that with that.
So that was his motion. We made a second, we opened it for discussion, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just in words where it just needs one name, places, it's all they're allowed to have malt or beer. They
Yeah.
can't have a general alcohol or spirits.
Okay.
You say 3 cases of beer?
3 cases of beer, 4 Trulies, 4 wines, 4 red wine, white wine. Well,
Seemed like a lot of beer.
I don't know how many people are in attendance either.
Me either, but. Just compared to the Truly from the one that's in. That's again. We let it come in and we want.
All right, so next one is to approve reducing of EDUs at Hallen.
Okay. This has to do with the Howland facility where Dunkin' Donuts is located. Last year, if you remember, the collector had gotten hold of South Hadley and thought Mr. Howland was being undercharged
Yes.
for a number of EDUs. Well, the representatives from South Hadley went and increased his EDUs from 1.0 to 3.25. And Mr. Howland has a problem with that for such a large increase and how it was justified. So what I did is, do you have any of this in front of you, Glenn?
Yeah, we have it.
I printed out the chart that we use to calculate EDUs per the sewer regulations. Based upon that, we have a fast food restaurant, Dunkin' Donuts, with less than 25, it's a full service with less than 25%. No, it's a fast food.
Yep.
That has 10 to 50 seats. Okay,
Yep.
so that's 800 gallons per day.
Okay.
We then have a salon in there, and it is $100 per seat. And I believe they have 2 chairs in there for 200.
Are we talking about cutting hair or are we talking about sinks for washing hair?
It just says a beauty salon or a barber shop.
They have 4 stylists. So that's why I'm asking, what are we talking about there for seats?
Chairs. Chair, I would say, is for washing hairs.
Yeah, so I think there's either 2 or 3.
I'm using 2.
Okay.
Okay. Then we have 2 retail facilities. One is Verizon, and then the new place, I can't remember what the name of it is.
Oh, it's the craft store.
Right, okay. Each of those are, I'm gonna say about 1,000 square feet each.
Yeah.
So each of those would be 50 per day. That comes to a total of 1,100 gallons per day, divided by 330 gallons per EDU, and it comes to 3.33, 3.25. So I asked Mr. Hallen to provide me with a copy of the annual water usage. This is a report that's filed with DEP. Okay? For the year, they went through 272,360 gallons. When you take that and divide it by 365 days, it equals 746.19 gallons per day. You divide that by 330 and you come to 2.26 EDUs. So basically, he's being overcharged by 1 EDU based upon that. Now, he argued with me, or put a case out there, that Dunkin' Donuts is mainly drive-through. They don't put what they put out down the sewer, mainly. Mainly people get it to go. The estimate by Dunkin' Donuts is about 70% of their clientele is to go, not to stay there and consume there. So based upon that, Mr. Hallen is requesting that the board charge 2 EDUs for the site, not the 2.25 that the calculation comes out to. That is, my recommendation is, I think it's a plausible argument to drop it to 2, because originally he was at 1, so basically we're doubling his EDUs from what he was being charged to 2 based upon his water usage, with the idea that a lot of it is to-go type of usage. It is up to the board to make the decision, do they agree with reducing from the 3.25 that is calculated per the regulations down to 2 based upon the water usage and his explanation that most of it is to-go type of traffic.
I'm okay with reducing it to his usage, the 2.25. That's what he's using.
That's up to the board. I just said I would put across because his argument was that a lot of the Dunkin' Donuts are coffees to go, teas to go, things of that nature. A lot of it is not consumed on site, and therefore the bathrooms aren't used on site for the use of the sewer.
But he's still using water to clean and whatever else, so. I
Right.
mean, the usage is the usage. We can't change what
And
it
I'm
is.
not arguing that point.
No, I'm just.
I'm just saying he's putting across the argument that with it being a Dunkin' Donuts and the manager says 70% of his business is to go, that 70% of their water usage, he's saying, goes out the door. Yes, no? That's a decision for the board to make, or as sewer commissioners. I told him I would present this to the board and I would get back to him with whatever the board decided.
That's fun.
Well, that's good for this year.
What happens?
No, because we will notify South Hadley that sewer commissioners have voted to reduce his EDUs from 3.25 to 2 or 2.25.
And we base that off of what showing what his usage was for this year.
Mm-hmm.
His usage goes up next year, then it's charging less than what he's using.
Well,
That's true.
you can turn around and ask for another set of readings if that's what you so desire. You know, it's up to you.
So basically saying that we would have to show, so for now, for fiscal year 2024, right, because it was for the usage for 2023, we could say that based on the evidence that you showed us, yes, we overcharged you by 1 EDU. We could refund him for that EDU. And then say, based on our calculations that everyone pays based on this, so unless you could show us your usage was less, you pay that amount.
I think
What's that?
Chris did up the figures.
Yeah.
Came up to what
Like, what we're currently
we're going to charge.
Yeah.
I'm okay with giving them an abatement because
Yeah.
they've shown to us that they've used less than what they were charged for.
Right.
That's okay, then the rate is the rate. If you want to do it again next year, then go ahead. Provide again
The
the
documentation.
documentation for us to, it's the same thing as someone looking for an abatement on their
Taxes.
car, excise tax bill, or homeowner's taxes.
Hmm?
It's the same thing, we provide the documentation. It's not gonna be done every year, you're gonna get the same things. I'm okay with giving a one-time abatement, then if you wish to do it again next year.
Okay.
It's documentation for next year.
I agree with that.
I do agree also. That could change year to year based on who's in and who's not.
Okay, so say it comes across 2 years in a row, it comes out to 2.25. At some point, are you gonna notify South Hadley that it should be reduced by 1 EDU? Because you're being billed from South Hadley based on 3.25. You're giving abatements that we're paying South Hadley for that additional EDU, but we're not collecting it. So basically, you're paying it through
Why
Other-
can't we provide South Hadley with the same documentation?
And they give us the,
they're not gonna give you an abatement. They ask once a year, do you wanna change the EDUs?
but
Okay,
it's just like if someone from their residence.
but they won't
comes-
do that. They won't do that for the town.
Yeah, that changes it because then,
Because if we're getting charged for
We're
it
getting
and we're
charged.
not, and we're giving him the abatement, then the taxpayers are paying the rest of the bill.
that's correct. And these are all based on South Hadley's rates. We don't set any of those rates, we just approve them.
This is for the rate going forward, again.
Right. You know, I don't have a problem if it's only gonna be a couple $100 for 1 year. But if this is gonna be continually along, then that gets turns into bigger bucks.
Well, South Hadley can come back and say, we don't agree with you, we believe it's 3.25. based on
And
calculation.
all I'm saying is, here's his actual water usage. When we do it divided by the, or get a daily use, it comes to 2.25. I have hard data that says, okay, that chart is averages. That's what, an average that was developed back in 1994. Okay? I tried to find updated figures for this type of stuff. They don't exist.
But the reality is that we can do an abatement, but for us to change the,
Change it down.
South Hadley's gotta say yes.
No, I just have to notify them that based upon documentation provided by account number 2201, that it should be 2.25, not 3.25, and they'll reduce on their end accordingly.
And that's moving forward, so.
Okay,
Rather than the taxpayers pays even $100, they should be responsible for it.
right. But I'm just saying, that's,
So we got billed for fiscal year 2024, he got billed at 3.25, and he's just asking moving forward, can we reduce it?
to
based on this information?
2.25, yes.
Okay.
Actually, he wants 2, but I'll just tell him no.
Yeah.
And if he wants to, he can come in front of you and argue it with you directly.
Based on the calculations, it comes out to 2.25.
Yes. I know.
Of usage.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's hard-
arguing that point with you.
It's hard to argue what the numbers are.
All right, so do I have a motion to reduce Hallen's water usage from 3.25 EDUs to 2.25 EDUs moving forward for fiscal year 2025?
I make a motion to reduce to 2.25 from 3.25 for fiscal year 2025. For water consumption.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Is there a signature page on there, Chris, or you just have to call him?
No, I will email him to the board's decision.
Okay, so I'll just put it up. And we did that with PM already.
I'll do, that's
Chris
for
signed
Chris
it.
to sign.
Yeah, 'cause we gave him.
There's 2 of those.
All right, next on there is approve and sign sewer commitment 24-02. So this is for fiscal year 24 second payment.
I make a motion, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Town of Granby sewer use fee warrant number 24-2 to Nicole A. Menard, agent for collection of sewer use fees for Granby in the county of Hampshire. In the name of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you are hereby required to collect from the several persons named on the sewer use fee list here within, committed to you as therein set forth, with interest, the sum total of such list being $122,309.75. The whole amount billed to all persons known to us to be liable for sewer use fees. And you are to pay over said sewer use fees and interest to Stephen R. Nally, Treasurer of Town of Granby, or to his successor in office at the times and in the manner provided by General Laws, Chapter 83, given under our hands this 29th day of July, 2024.
Second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No discussion?
All in favor? Aye. Signed all three?
I'm sorry.
I know. So, given the time, we'll finish to number 11, and then our old and other business we'll save to our next meeting, Chris,
That's what you want?
unless there's any pressing information that you have to give us tonight.
No.
Okay, because then we still have executive session now following that. So does that sound good to you guys?
Works for me.
Okay.
Yes.
I swear we did do stuff fun.
Some
It's on a summer break, you know.
All right, next on the list is to approve and sign 2024-2025 gravel permits.
Okay, make a motion for gravel permit renewal. For applicant Leon Chartier, Chris Chartier, and Greg Orland at 232 Bachelor Street, Granby, Mass. 01033. Location of excavation site is the same. Name of persons using the site, Greg Orland at 212 Bachelor Street, Granby, Mass. 01033. The following questions answered will be processed. When was the original permit used for gravel removal? 1940s. When the original permit was granted for the site? 1940s. Sorry, read the wrong thing. The depth of the excavation at present time is 12 feet. And will be dug to approximately 14 feet. Approximately 10,000 yards in the past 12 months have been removed. And approximately 10,000 yards for the next 12 months will be removed. And the gravel pit has been active for the past 12 months.
And just to clarify, when it was originally given for the gravel permit, it was at approximately 14 feet, and now it's at 12 feet.
The depth of
The depth of
excavation, yes, 14 feet, it's at 12.
And on the Conservation Commission minutes, everything was approved. They did the site visits.
Yes. I don't give it to you until.
They've done theirs.
Okay.
Right?
That was a little confusing.
So, do I have a second? Okay. Any further discussion?
No discussion.
And then the actual, is on the bottom.
Okay.
Oops.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Yes, we all gotta stop going on vacation.
It's crazy talk.
You don't have to wait for us, Dave, you can start.
Yeah, no.
We can sign.
Okay. Gravel permit renewal. 7/2024 to 6/2025. Applicant, Andrick Materials and Recycling LLC of 22 Industry Road, Chicopee, Mass. 01020. Location of excavation site, 240 Chicopee Street, Granby, Mass. 01033. Name of persons or person using the site, Andrick Materials and Recycling LLC, 22 Industry Road, Chicopee, Mass. 01020. Original permit issued for gravel removal was July 7th, 1980. Depth of excavation when original permit was granted, road level to an elevation of 260 feet. Depth of excavation at present time, plus 260, road level to an elevation greater than 260 feet. Amount of yardage of materials removed from the site during the past 12 months, 78,521 tons. Approximately what amount of materials will be removed in the next 12 months, 80,000 tons. And they have worked in the gravel pit for the past 12 months.
Second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think I need to invest in a rubber stamp.
I don't think we can stamp, can we, Chris?
No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
I just, it's a lot of signing tonight.
No, the state likes wet signatures.
Yeah.
Can't have some.
Okay, make a motion for gravel pit renewal, 7/2024 to 6/2025 for Naraki Construction Incorporated at 105 Slate Road in Chicopee, Mass. 01020. Location of excavation site, Lion Street, north side of Hamden, Hampshire County line. Name of person or persons using the site, Naraki Construction Incorporated, 105 Slate Road, Chicopee, Mass. 01020. The original permit issued for removal of gravel was December 30th, 1995. The depth of excavation when the original permit was granted was 270. The depth of excavation at present time is 270 and above. The amount of yardage of material removed in the last 12 months was 8,000 cubic yards. The approximate amount of materials anticipated to be removed in the next 12 months, 20,000 cubic yards, and it has been active for the last 12 months.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And you just forgot one right there.
I missed one. I was just looking at that one, thinking I missed one. Make a motion for gravel pit renewal, 7/20/24 to 6/20/25 for Naraki Construction at 105 Slate Road, Chicopee, Mass. Location of excavation site, 11 Lion Street, Granby, Mass. 01033. Name of person or persons using this site, Naraki Construction Incorporated, 105 Slate Road, Chicopee, Mass. 01020. Original permit was issued, pit open 1908. Permit was issued when earth remove bylaws came into effect. The depth of excavation when the original permit was granted was 50 feet. Depth of excavation at present time is 270 and above. The amount of yardage of material removed from the site in the last 12 months was 6,000 cubic yards. Approximately 10,000 cubic yards of material may be taken out in the next 12 months. And the pit was active for the last 12 months.
So Kathy, one's the north side. What is that one?
They had three, and they, did not remove one.
Okay. I just have two copies of the north side, so I got confused. I don't think so that one's not the north side, that's just the second site.
That's just the second site,
Okay.
yes. So, location site 11 Lion Street.
And this one was
North side of the Hampton line.
Hampshire. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. All right, you have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right, next on the, what I'm signing is to, sign the approved beer and wine license for something special catering.
So, make a motion, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Alcohol Beverage Control Commission Licensing Authority Certification for the name of the applicant being Something Special Catering Service Incorporated at 181 West State Street, Granby, Mass. 01033. Manager name, Lori Ann Bernier. For wines and malts, on-premises consumption, and a restaurant style setting.
Go to this side. Yeah, go to this side, dear.
Licensed alcohol beverages board of Town of Granby, Massachusetts hereby grants a common vic license to expose, keep for sale, and to sell wines and malt beverages to be drunk on the premises, Something Special Catering Service Incorporated. License number 08319-RS-0458. Lori Ann Bernier, manager, 181 West State Street, Granby, Mass. On the following described premises, a one-story building with 2 bathrooms, main entrance in front of building, exit and rear, located at 31 West State Street, Granby, Mass. 01033.
I'll second the motion.
Give hours of operation. down-
Yep, that's what I was just looking at, just the hours.
Yep.
The hours during which alcohol beverages may be sold are from Wednesday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., Sunday hours from noon to 2 p.m., and 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. In testimony whereof, undersigned have hereunto affixed their official signatures this 29th day of July, 2024.
Any further discussion?
No discussion.
Anything, any concerns or anything, chief?
So it's gonna be on the property, that's the biggest thing, and then at some point, you're talking about bringing that, the possibility of people being on the library, because that restaurant too, so. See what you
Like Terrell, you mean?
Yes.
Where they can buy it and then take it with them? Okay.
That's not happening right now, though.
No.
No, but there's
They put a,
until early this year, and then, now, since that part of the law expired with that COVID and everything, it's been talked about the Senate's gonna allow it. Bring it back around, so. we just may have to address that.
Okay. Right. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right. Last thing on the agenda is to approve and sign sealer weights and measures for fiscal year 2025 contract.
I'm not sure quite where to go with this one.
All right. So Chris, as far as what he's reading, he doesn't have to read the whole thing, correct?
No, this is basically just a contract between the town and the city of Northampton.
Weights and measures.
We use their division or their weights and measures person to do the services in the town of Granby. He bills, we receive the money for any scales or things that he has to certify for measuring. The price is the same as it was last year, and it just requires a contract between us and the city of Northampton for him to provide the services to us.
No increase in services?
No
I
increase.
know, he kept it the same last year too, I think.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I think that's based upon a union type contract too. So I think they probably negotiated a multi-year contract, so we lucked out.
So I make a motion to accept the agreement between the town of Granby and the town of Northampton for
Fiscal year 2020
fiscal year 2025 for weights and measures,
for the sealer of weights and measures.
sealer of weights and measures. Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
None.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so I know we were gonna table, if you guys are okay with it, all the old and any other business until our meeting on the 12th. I know, Chris, you gave us the volunteer release form. That was vetted or approved by the town council?
That's the one used by DCR, and that's
Okay.
the one he liked the best that he saw out there
Okay.
too. So I just want to make sure
Review it.
the board agrees with it, and then once we do that, we can put it on our own form.
So if you guys,
Did
if
read
you
it.
can just, did you get a chance to read that one again?
Yeah, I was good with it.
Council.
Okay.
Has much more description in it than the other that we looked at.
So,
So you said the next step is to make it our own with the town of Granby and
Yep.
everything.
yes.
All right, so that will move forward. That's awesome. And is there any decision we have to make on the stamp right now, or can we table it to the 12th?
Table.
Okay. And nothing else that's pressing? We can table everything?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So I will take a motion to end the regular session, and then we will do a roll call to go into executive session.
I make a motion,
Or wait, only to come out
To adjourn the meeting.
to adjourn the meeting. Okay, so hold on, let me say that again, Chris, so I get used to it. So I'll take a motion to end the regular session, open up into,
Nope. You are taking you want a roll call vote to enter into executive session under 30A-21A-2 to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. You will only come out of executive session to adjourn the meeting.
thank you, Chris. So I shall take a motion. You don't have to repeat all of that, you just make the motion.
okay, make a motion to go to executive session.
Second motion.
Do a roll call vote, and any further discussion? All in favor?
Nope, roll call.
No,
call.
roll call vote, okay,
Roll call.
Sexton, aye.
last name and I.
Labonte, aye.
Dufresne, aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.